Alrighty then, we are back in the saddle. Your backs are against the wall, which is a bit tricky to do when you're on a saddle, to be honest. The horses aren't known for being able to squeeze up against walls. But this hand is... it's fine, I suppose. A bit slow, being on the draw. We at least have a remand. And we can just spew off this Epiphany for one in an attempt to hit more lands. A Watery Grave. That's an interesting one. Obviously, we don't have to fire this off on turn 2, even if they don't do anything, since if we keep making land drops, then things are fine. Grixis. Oh, it's Dredge. Alright. That makes sense. Let's see. Well, I could foresee us needing to use this Izzet Charm. So I'm gonna play this Steam Vents untapped, since we're very far away from obtaining Tron anyway. We don't have anything to stop that, and unlike my last time playing against this deck, they did not get a free guy from their turn 1 neonate, so that's great. Well, actually, they had multiple guys off of their turn 1 neonate last time, and that was a huge beating. Time to pop out some graveyards. Close this chat window. Burning Inquiry. I think that needs to be countered. Like properly countered. Like, I don't want to risk them just playing a land if I remand it. This possibly where they play the sheepish land after the spell? No? Alright. Okay, that's fine. We have remand still available. We can crack the map and probably cast Epiphany next turn to try and find either another Tron land, more personally an Eldrazi. Wow, this was not a very good dredge. There's just nothing going on over there. There's a mine, and I'm going to play Signet since it will give us the 5th mana. If we happen to draw Emrakul next turn, we can fire off Remand or Electrolyze here, which is nice. And we also didn't have enough colored mana to snapcast Izzet Charm anyway, so we're not really giving up too much in the way of options by tapping 2 mana here. A Narcomoeba. Oh, they were obviously going to hit stuff eventually, so that's reasonable. Suppose I actually need the chat open so I can see exactly what they're dredging. Yeah. Well, that's fine. Time to cycle, basically. More remands. These are obviously not great. I just want them to cast some spells so I can get somewhere, but at least we have 5 mana, so we can Snapcast and Electrolyze again. Snapcasting, Electrolyzing opponent's face, we put them to 17, which would make them dead to like 1 more Snapcaster hit if we get to Emrakul them. The Dredge have Daxmore Salvage, which is a-okay with me. And did not play the Daxmore Salvage. Well, time to cycle some more. And another Tron piece. It's not relevant right now, but we get to attack, put them to 15. And we're definitely threatening them. Okay, so they milled a podcast and pressed Amalgam. I suppose this would be one reason why they wouldn't play their Dredge land, since they were holding on to it for podcasts, which makes a lot of sense. So they get back the podcast and this Amalgam. Sure, a-okay. And time to have an epiphany. Reveal 6 cards. So obviously if there's an Emrakul in here, I can just put Emrakul plus the rest. And to be fair, the rest is extremely bad. In this scenario. But on the other hand, it gives us plenty of things to discard to... Oh, well, okay, that's fine. We got it. They were not afraid of the infamous 1/5 pile. So me planning out what I was going to do with the rest didn't matter, but as I say, with the extra cards, we were going to get to untap, draw a card, cast Izzet Charm, draw a couple more cards. We can even like cast Izzet Charm, remand it, just to churn through our deck, since these weren't doing very much. So we have a Grafdigger's Cage, some relics. Let's see, what else do we have here? The gates are good against like Burning Inquiry and stuff like that. I don't think Spell Snare does anything in particular. And I expect they're going to bring in Ancient Grudges, so I think these are just going to be basically free kills for the opponent if I leave them in. So I don't really want that. Kara's probably not super. There are definitely a few options here. I'm going to put this in case I end up with a situation where I have like a relic in play and not much else going on. And I'm going to put another lightning bolt in, so I might need to just kill a 3/3 at some point during the game. So hopefully I can play around Ancient Grudge. and they'll have a bunch of them and they'll get blown out. But obviously, I can't take out expedition maps, but they tend not to stay in play very long anyway. This hand is definitely on the weak side. Can't say I'm terribly impressed. Remands aren't that good against the opponent either. Possibly they're worse than negates. I'm gonna mulligan. I'm gonna maybe. Well, this one's for a no lander. This is about as close as you can get since this card's great against them. But like even if I like scry it, it's not a land, and I bottom it and miss, then it's dreadful. Okay, keep this. It's acceptable, I think. We sort of need more mana for this to be an effective sideboard card, really. Since this is going to, like, just tapping to remove one thing at a time isn't going to be great. Oh, there's an Ancient Grudge. And since we have two of these, I think I might just give them the option of grudging it. It means they're not doing a lot more looting next turn. It does take the Scalding Tarn away from Life from the Loam. And if they don't blow it up, then I'll just crack it immediately, basically, to draw a card. I think I would have slow rolled it if I didn't have another one of these. And for sure if I had another land, but, you know, at the moment we just don't, so gotta work with the tools that we have. There it goes. Hopefully they don't have an insane dredge here. And they didn't do anything, so that's fine. Don't have anything going on, so maybe his hand is just really, really bad, and we'll draw like an island, then remand, and draw some more land, then remand. But it's looking real bad. That was a very bad dredge though. They got some grave trolls in there and some lands. Is this another Ancient Grudge? Just hard cast? That'd be pretty unfortunate. Yeah, like I say, like Ancient Grudge is like if we have two lands, then obviously these cards are great, and I don't care about Ancient Grudge on them. But you know, we're trying. If only we could discard this into their graveyard, that'd be great. Okay, Scalding Tarn. That's technically a start. We are incredibly far away, but on the other hand, they've dealt themselves a ton of damage. If we just somehow peel a bunch of lands in a row and they don't do anything overly aggressive. I mean, they get an amalgam here. But we're still on 20. We're not that close to dying. Yeah, I mean this is not a very exciting draw by them. Like these decks, they're best draws if their deck is ordered in such a way that the dredges work out. Then obviously these decks can be incredibly powerful. It's quite impressive, but when that doesn't happen, then this isn't beating someone with a real hand, so to speak. We obviously don't know which colors. We know definitely blue, but we can easily draw like a lightning bolt or something. So we want to get more colors for sure. That's a bit on the embarrassing side. But Electrolyze should maybe be able to clean these up in a timely-ish fashion. If they want to play something else for me to rant, that's great. If they don't, I'm sort of priced into playing Epiphany for 2, which obviously doesn't give us very many options. Like the best we could hope for is like 3 lands, so I definitely get one. Oh, another flashback Faithless Looting. Well, that's good times for Team Remand. Okay, we're still in it. We get to spell pierce them if something really particularly nasty happens. But if not, we get to Epiphany for 3, i.e., it's always a bit awkward describing how much you're doing Epiphany for because it's always +1, but I always just describe the X. So if Epiphany for 3, we'll see 4 cards. If there's 2 lands, I'll make sure to put 1 land in each pile. Podcasts can be scary if they can get us, but it looks like they can't. They could obviously also have like a Thoughtseize, since I've saw some of those. They could have negates or something like that in their deck. All these sideboard cards sort of dilute the main plan, but could just have like an Atarka's command. Atarka's command would be really funny, to be honest. I think I have to let that resolve. Since I only have 1 blue, I can't like spell Pierce plus Epiphany to try and hit land, since I think we can win if we hit land. Also, this is probably the point where the opponent's thinking, well, should I have done this pre-combat? Because these would have had haste since I was on 8 at the start of the turn. Epiphany. Okay, I'll put this and this. Since I can pay 2, no problem. As long as I get a land, everything is fine. I'd love to pay 2 life and hope this works. I mean, there are obviously lots of things that they can have. They have 6 cards in hand. A couple of them are land at least. Maybe some of them are just random dredge cards. But from considering our start, where we missed some land, didn't have any additional lands, got our sideboard cards grudged. It's in. You know what would be really awesome if they just like had a sudden shock in their deck? They just wait till I attacked, float some mana, bam, kill me. Annihilator 6. We have won the match. Well, that's nice, isn't it?